you like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative.
Do you want to slap your boss and then go home and make yourself some golden brown pancakes covered in butter and freshly made warm boysenberry syrup? Then you'll love the Urban Conservative.
You little old.
Can't hold me now, I'm trying to keep from staying low.
Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, folks, top of the morning. Hope everybody's doing well. You are tapped into the best 30-minute morning show on the planet right here on the Urban Conservative. Do us a favor, hit the like, follow, subscribe. Make sure to tap in Monday nights, 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative podcast. You can also head over to the website. You see it up on your screen. Well, at least you do now. tuconservative.com is the website. Head over there, do us a favor, get yourself a membership, support the podcast. Also, super duper big shouts out to Kelly Harmon and the team over there at Edward Jones. Thank you so much for your sponsorship, Kelly. We appreciate you. Also, do remember, when you head over to the website, you can sponsor the show. You can head over to tuconservative.com. You can hit that sponsor a show tab, follow the instructions. You can also scroll down a little bit and get yourself some merch. You can do that right there. You know what I mean? Get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a little mug, as it were. But we appreciate all of the support we get. Shouts out to DJ Brenda Black last night for her Twitter space. She had a very, very interesting conversation last night that took place. And shouts out to her for letting us, bringing us in to co-host that event and talk a little bit to her audience. It was a very, very interesting dialogue. Make sure to check out DJ Brenda Black. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very interesting show this morning because California's at it again. Yeah, folks. California is at it again. All right. And unfortunately, California has a lot of potential. It's a very, and that's not the unfortunate part of what I'm about to say. But if you've ever been to California, it's a very, very beautiful state. Okay, it's a very beautiful state. But as we all know, it's way left. All right, California is a beautiful place to live, but right now, probably not a good place to live. So the reason you see the BLM rainbow flag is because, again, folks, California reparations now up to $360,000. All right. And this is a state that's never allowed slavery. So think about how nuts that is, that we're talking about a state that has never allowed slavery. Okay. California entered the Union in 1850 as a free state, and now considering reparations of up to $360,000 per eligible recipient, which who in the world is going to determine who's eligible to receive a check. All right. And this is more than 50% than the amount floated originally. In December, a report came in, a state committee considering reparations heard recommendations that eligible recipients, those descended from former black slaves. Now, I kind of got a problem with that. And I know Ali's probably going nuts. Shouts out to Ali. He's on the road again. Shouts out to Rocky Mount. He's on his way out there. Uh, could qualify up to $233,000. So now that amount has ballooned up to over $350 per recipient. And this is according to Bloomberg. Perhaps under pressure from local efforts in cities like San Francisco, which is considering $5 million per black resident. No, and I'm not, you didn't mishear me. I said $5 million. 5 million with an M. $5 million, folks. Yeah, they want to give $5 million per black resident. Now, it's not clear where the money will come from because that's a logical question. Well, who in the HE double hockey sticks is paying for this? Who's coming up off that bread? Listen, I don't want to pay nobody for what happened 150, 200. I don't spend any money on that. I think it's a stupid idea. It almost reminds me, so, and I don't mean to digress, but this is part of just reminded me of watching Dave Chappelle the other night. I seen on Netflix, they had the Dave Chappelle show up, and I'm watching Dave Chappelle, and they did the reparation skit. Now, if you've never seen the reparation skit, the beginning of the show, Dave Chappelle does a skit where black people get reparations and they all got money and blah, 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 blah. Same episode, 2 hours later, everybody's broke. Okay. So the reason it reminds me of that is because left out of the skit was where the money came from. Okay. And the idea was that you had the establishment, and unfortunately, y'all know Dave's a little left, right? But the establishment, quote unquote, white people, I'm not saying I agree to this, but in the mechanism, it makes sense. So unless you feel like they're going to just spend up the money and give it back to you, why would you give $5 million to people who for the last 30 years haven't been able to maintain any type of fiscal and this is not the whole, again, it's not all black people, but it just so happens the group that are advocating for this, as we see on the screen, are the lower end on the ground people that are begging for this, are your BLM crowd, your black nationalist and all this other stuff that are calling for this nonsense. Okay. And they have political influence because they take their behinds down to the city hall. They take their behinds to the city council meetings. They organize themselves. They show up. And unfortunately, on our side, we don't have enough pushback on this stuff. So it's not clear where the money will come from. Again, who obviously they want us to pay for it. As the state budget deficit of roughly $25 billion this year, many cities are also short of money. It's unclear why California would pay for sins it did not commit, which is, I mean, this is just illogical. It's a logical position. Wait a minute. Wait. So what would be even, we would have to go down the rabbit hole. What the heck would the criteria be to pay this money out? I mean, it's retarded, and some advocates of reparations argue that California is guilty regardless because of lingering racial equality. The goal appears to be encourage the nation as a whole to pay reparations. Okay. And this is noted from Bloomberg. If California can admit its sins and change the narrative, hey, and we talk about, again, this is the urban conservative. And as a reminder, the urban and urban conservative means understanding reality beyond all narratives, right? That's the urban part, not just the city, not just that. But if California can admit its sins and change the narrative, so if we examine what the current narrative would be, most people are going to look at you and be like, wait, you want to take my money and give it to somebody else for something they've never been through? No, I'm not going to fly with the average person. And then there's this consensus idea that we all want reparations. All quote unquote black, quote unquote melanated, quote unquote African Americans want reparations. And I think these people are just talking to a very narrow group of people. So If California can admit its sins and change the narrative, then there's a way forward for states and cities across the nation, end quote. And that quote came from the California Secretary of State, Shirley Weber. So think that out. This is what the elected leadership out there is talking about. This is absolutely nuts. Okay. All right. Well, Frank, here's my only problem. Who should pay for it though? Because the government doesn't have any money. That's all tax revenue. That's all borrowed money. So who should this money come from? And then we're gonna need a system to find out. But Black Americans who are descendant slaves deserve representation, reparations. It is a Before we go to this next subject matter, there's an issue that we have to confront being objective about this. Okay, let's be objective about this. Every single group of people that we call races have been enslaved. This is a rabbit hole from a victimhood mentality. The victimhood mentality is the shovel that is digging us into this hole. Now, why do I say that? If you think you deserve something for something you've never experienced, and then you're going to have to go with the argument that the country was built on slavery and the country was built on the backs of Black slaves. Right? This has got to be the narrative to support the argument that we deserve financial compensation for those of us who may have slaves in our history. We now deserve financial compensation. And what would have to make logical sense is that the slavery produced some type of financial benefit directly. And that's going to be impossible to prove. It's not even a logical undertaking. It doesn't even legit make sense to even try to do that, because then you're going to have to go with, well, what about all the Chinese people or the Asian people rather that were enslaved here in the late 1800s and forced to work? How much reparations do they get? And then we go down this rabbit hole of writing checks to everybody who's faced the human evil of slavery, and then everybody's going to end up with a check. It doesn't make much sense. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come right back after this commercial break with Top of the Morning. Stay tuned. We shall return.
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, folks, welcome back to Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Please do us a favor, head over to tuconservative.com, support the podcast, support the movement, help us continue to spread conservative values to urban communities across New York, across North Carolina, and pretty much across the country. We appreciate all of our sponsors, our underwriters, and the folks that send us the little cash apps, but we really appreciate just as much the likes, the subscribes, the shares. Tag a friend in this, and again, if there's something you think we should cover that we're not talking about, please feel free to hit us up on social media. If there's anybody you think we should be interviewing, we got a bunch of candidates. We're in municipal election cycle right now across the country. So as we always do, we're going to have some amazing candidates coming up to the show. And we're going to continue talking to policymakers and leaders and things of that nature to kind of get, see how the sausage is made, right? So Xi Jinping, Donnie Yen. Every time I see Donnie Yen, I call him Ip Man. It's just a habit. I can't see him in any other role other than Ip Man. But protesters are demanding that the Oscars drop pro-Chinese Communist Party John Wick star Donnie Yen as the host. Now, I'm not too invested in the Oscars, and I'm just keeping it all the way funky with y'all. I'm not invested in the Oscars. If you're invested in the Oscars, get in the comment section real quick and let me know that you're invested in the Oscars, right? Hey, listen, brother Frank, I see the comment. Asians got reparations, Indians got reparations, Wells Fargo, Wall Street, Brooks Brothers built off of slavery. Yeah, those are all stretches, and Indians did not get reparations. That is a stretch, but I don't want to get sidetracked. We're gonna circle back to that and do a whole show about reparations, brother Frank. I think that's important, and you're more than welcome to come on and join us on our Tuesday Twitter space. It's an open conversation that everybody can come on over to our Twitter space every Tuesday, and I think we'll do that tomorrow. We'll have that conversation. But like I was saying, I'm not invested in the Oscars, the Grammys, the music awards. I'm not too invested in those things anymore. I don't know if that's age. I don't know what you attribute that to. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what I would attribute that to. Maybe it's just as you fill your mind with what I'll say is more important things like how my local community is being ran, who my local officials are, things that I think are more. I just lost interest in that type of stuff, and I get it, I get it, I guess. It's a big deal. You got everybody patting each other on the back, as it were, for acting in movies and whatever that is. But Donnie Yen, who I again call Ip Man, Master Ip, invitation to join the host list at the 2023 Oscars has been attacked. I mean, really? After critics, after he derided the 2019 pro-democracy Hong Kong protest in an interview. So now there's a petition calling on the Oscar committee to remove him. A long supporter of China's ruling communist dictatorship from the role at the 95th Academy Awards has already drawn 30,000 supporters in less than 48 hours since it launched. Okay. It says in part, and I'm quoting from the part of the letter, we, a group of people from Hong Kong, are writing to express our concern about your decision to invite an actor who supports the Chinese Communist Party's violation of human rights, Donnie Yen, as a presenter for the Oscars. As a globally recognized film award, the Oscars should represent respect for human rights and moral values rather than support for actions that violate them. Donnie Yen is a supporter of the Chinese communist regime and has made several remarks in support of the Chinese government's policies, including supporting the implementation of the national security law in Hong Kong and accusing Hong Kong protesters of being rioters. These remarks not only violate the human spirit of freedom of speech, but they also deny the rights of people of Hong Kong to fight for their freedom and democracy. So again, I mean, most of us know Donnie Yen. A lot of us know Donnie Yen from Ip Man. And again, I'm not personally invested enough, right? But I understand the sentiment. And the thing you have to remember, and I try to impart this onto people, that what we call celebrities, you got to remember what these people are being celebrated for. What are you celebrating these people for? Because he acts good. It's what does that even mean? In objective, practical reality, sure, we can use entertainment, but entertainment's a luxury, right? That's entertainment is afforded to us because we all don't have to hunt and gather food. We don't have to hunt animal. We can go to the store. We can Uber some food over. So these things are luxuries, and celebrity is a whole nother psychological thing to unwrap and unpack and all this stuff like that. But I personally don't care. To be honest, I'm reporting it because the idea that you would think these celebrities have some moral compass, and a lot of them, they don't. Especially now, you got to remember something. Donnie Yen, what made you think that he wouldn't be with the Communist Party? Like, why would you think he wouldn't be? That's really the question. What was on your mind when you thought, oh, he's, because what, he played It Man? I don't know, because it didn't. What other movie? I don't think you would make that assumption. I mean, most of the people there, I don't know too many. I remember back in the days, Jackie Chan caught a little flack, and certain other people catch a little flack. But maybe we're just in a very, very hyper politicized time right now. Um, I haven't done much research on Donnie Yen's political statements, to be honest. But if you don't think he should be a host because of his support, let us know. I mean, maybe you guys are into the Grammys and the Oscars and the whole bit, which I think is just a big distraction. But again, the CCP, the new findings about the virus and all of these different things. I would think people would be more cautious about who they align with, in these days and times and what they tweet. And why I say that is because I would think this would have some measurable effect on the performance of movies that he's in, because they're going to try to cancel him, of course. It's a thing. They're going to do that. I mean, how do you go against human rights? How do you go against it almost makes me think about the first conversation about reparations. We talking about paying for people slavery that happened already, when there's currently people right now, Africans enslaved today. As you hear my voice, there are people enslaved today, like right now. In China and in Africa and other places, there's human trafficking going on today, right now. Right now. And it's sophisticated, and it's happening to all of the groups of people. It ain't just happening to the Chinese or the Africans no, it's happening around the world. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We got one more thing we're going to cover this morning. Make sure you stay tuned, hit the like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be right back. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, folks, welcome back to Top of the Morning. We appreciate everybody getting in the comment section, having a dialogue. Do us a favor. Again, hit the like, follow, subscribe, hit the share button, all that good stuff. It means a lot to us. Shouts out to everybody in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching or listening from. Again, you can find the Urban Conservative everywhere you listen to podcasts. Our new YouTube channel, because you know how they did us dirty. They got rid of the old one. Our new YouTube channel is at TUC Twins. That is the @ TUC Twins. Head over to YouTube. We're trying to get our numbers back up over there on YouTube, just so we can get back to where we were. So this last story we're going to talk about here. I don't watch The Real Housewives. I mean, some of y'all maybe know about The Real Housewives. I was never really into the reality TV thing, but this is Heather Dubrow. And she's a star from The Real Housewives who celebrated her 12-year-old child, Colette, who is now going by Ace, after declaring herself transgender. It's International Sons Day, Dubrow exclaimed. We love you, our youngest son, Ace. Now, let's back up here, Terry. Back up, Terry. So, was born a girl and has made the decision to transition into being, in these people's mind, a boy named Ace. Now, respectfully, right? You can't tell people what to do with their lives. But there's a trend here. You got the situation with all of these celebrity kids, and it's not just the white celebrities. This is the interesting thing. Look at what's going on with Dwayne Wade. Look at what's going on with T.I.'s kids and all these other celebrities' kids who are coming out as bisexual, gay, transgender, and all of these different things. It's a trend, okay? And I think it's easy to manipulate people who would like to be famous, okay? But Sons Day is not for girls. you can't have a female son. All right. The amount of delusion that these people are suffering from there, it almost makes me believe that the idea of a mass hypnosis is a thing where you can and Ali always talks about the book The Popular Delusions and Madness of Crowds, right? This is real. This phenomenon is real. You have individuals like this lady here who have mentally convinced themselves that a little girl can become, transition into a boy. You have to have checked out a little bit psychologically, and it's going to be difficult because some of these people are making the claim to be Christians. Some of these people are making the claim to be Jews. Some of these people are making the claim to subscribe to religions that defy what they are making these other subscriptions to, transgenderism, etc. Now, I'm going to split the hair here, and I'm going to say the chances that if you talk to these people, which you probably won't because they're quote unquote celebrities, if you talk to these people and could have a rational conversation with them, and you say to them, you don't actually believe that the little girl you gave birth to, that the doctor patted on the behind and cried and identified as a female, you don't really believe that that's now a boy. You don't believe that, right? So you ask this question. If I took 25 men, 30 women, and put them on an island, I could come back in 100 years and have people. If I took 17, 25, 200, 4,000 transgender women and put them, right, which I'll call transgender women, and put them on an island, I'd come back in 100 years to a bag of bones, to stacks of bones. So there's some fundamental realities that can't be escaped. And these celebrities who are promoting this, why would she need to put that out there? Come on, right? But Son's Day is for boys. So she goes on to say, our job as parents is to give our kids a safe and supportive environment. I agree with that. So they can grow up as healthy, happy, confident, and independent humans. I agree with that. Dubrow continued in her Instagram post, which featured photo of the letters Ace written in sands on the beach. Since Ace is a 12-year-old, now think about what we talking about. You've a 12-year-old. That is mind-blowing. A 12-year-old. Since Ace is a 12-year-old child with a life, I can't even read it the way it says it, with a long life ahead of him. It's just what it says. We will let him tell his own story someday if he chooses to. You're in the public writing, so the story's told already. All we can say is, Ace, we love you so much, and we're proud to be your parents. Your brothers and sisters love and support you too. Maybe they do. In addition to their 12-year-old transgender child, the Real Housewives star and her husband, botched plastic surgeon Terry Dubrow, have a 16-year-old daughter, Katrina, and 19-year-old twins, Nicholas and Maximilia, a daughter. Which kind of daughter, according to them? Both Katrina and Maximilian have previously announced they are a member of the, are we surprised here, LGBTQIA2S+. And I'm not making this up. It literally say LGBTQIA small 2 capital S+. This is where we're at. It's where we're at. In June, but are you shocked? In 2020, Maximilia came out as bisexual. Are you shocked? Dubrow told people that Katrina decided to drop in our family text, by the way, I'm a lesbian. So are you shocked that the children of these people with unlimited resources in the heart of debauchery have these twisted children? These people that attend these liberal far left indoctrination camps called public schools out there. Are you shocked, really? So get in the comment section. Let us know what you think. should it doesn't even matter what you think at this point because you can't celebrate girls on Sun's Day. It ain't a thing. People are out of their cotton picking minds, ladies and gentlemen. They have lost it. And yeah, that's pretty much where that's at, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tapping in to Top of the Morning. Do us a favor, head over to the website, tuconservative.com, hit the like, follow, subscribe, hit the share, all that good stuff. Come on board, sponsor the platform so we can continue to spread these conservative messages to urban communities across the country. Also, I know Ali's gonna kill me because I didn't pull up the YouTube, but make sure to go check him out on YouTube and check out our page. He's gonna be, I believe he said in Hope County. There's a bunch of county conventions going on around the state. And just so you can remember, Ali is running for to be your next North Carolina GOP vice chairman. So shouts out to my twin brother, Dual Ali, for him and for everybody over here at the Urban Conservative. Enjoy the rest of the day, man. You know, take it easy. Don't get too aggressive with folks. Make sure to hit the like, follow, subscribe. We will see you back here tomorrow. Well, actually tonight, 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative, but tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for Top of the Morning. Peace and love, folks.